My next guest, you've seen him on TUF 28. He's going to be fighting for the lights out heavyweight title against Brett Martin. It is Josh Parisian joining me here on the program for the very first time. Josh, how are you?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. It's good to talk to you. You're a guy I've been following for a while, and this is a huge fight, so why not make this an interview? It's all good. But before we talk about the matchup, people, like I said, will remember you from TUF 28. How was that experience for you? Because for everyone, I know it's not the best, but a lot of people feel like they got a lot out of it.
It's one of those things when I was in the house, it didn't feel like a great experience just because of the stress and just something about being on a reality TV show. Any way that they want to portray you, they can. So there's a little bit of stress about that. For the first 2 weeks, it was kind of hard to be myself, just because I didn't want to be painted in any sort of picture, and especially because I have a kind of a dark sense of humor. But after that, I kind of just quit caring, and and then it was a lot better. But outside of the experience, now that I'm out of it, it was great as far as my personal growth, as a person, as an athlete. So it was I'm glad that I did it.
Okay. Did you like how you were portrayed watching back on it?
They really didn't show a whole lot of us. One thing they seem to care about more is the drinking and the shenanigans and stuff like that. And that was kind of a bummer, just because I was hoping that they would dive a little bit more into us as people, as athletes and all that. But either way, I was happy with what they did show.
Was the most challenging part the cameras, or was it people not cleaning up, or what would you say was the most difficult part, or was it just that you're confined, you couldn't call home or anything like that?
Yeah, I would say the no internet, no TV, no music. The only thing we have is each other to talk to. You know what I mean? And although I made some good friends, actually Ben Sisoli on the show is going to be standing at my wedding.
Oh, cool.
So he became a really good friend on the show.
There you go.
As far as cleanliness, they said that out of all the seasons they've ever had, we're the cleanest they've ever had. But we spent the most amount on food that they've ever.
Well, I guess with heavyweights, I would have figured that much, right?
Yeah, I think they told us the budget for food was $300,000, and we came close.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. A lot of steaks, I guess, because I would imagine that's because what else would you guys eat that was really pricey? I was just trying to think.
Oh man, they had a sushi chef on call, because everyone for weeks there was just on the sushi kick. But then I didn't even eat regular hamburger. I had Kobe hamburger. Every day I had 2 pounds of crab legs for lunch. I just anything that I could get, I would get. I figured I'm on a TV show where they're paying for it. I might as well
take advantage of it. Absolutely, man. I would do the same thing. That's great. Last thing on The Ultimate Fighter, were you surprised not to get on the finale? There's seasons where they will take fighters that didn't make it to the finals, and they'll still put them on the main card. And you had a pretty good win leading into the house over Greg Rebello on Contender Series. Did it surprise you at all when you found out your name wasn't on the finale?
I was super surprised. Not only because I had that great performance in the Contender Series, but that they made the UFC made the Ultimate Fighter take heavyweights and the 145 girls, because they're just thin divisions. They needed people. So I kind of thought that they would take all of us, but that just wasn't the case. And I was even more surprised that they didn't take the losers on the finale. The people that lost that, they got cut as well. I was shocked, honestly.
Well, this might be the next best thing. Fighting for a title on the regional scene with Lights Out. They're doing great work over there. Matt Frendo, can't say enough good things about that guy. And, as far as Michigan MMA goes, that's the premier organization. How did this all come together with you fighting for the title and getting this huge opportunity?
I was contacted on Christmas break asking if I wanted that fight. And right now we're in negotiations with PFL, but that's not till April. And also, I was told that the UFC won't take me straight out, but they may take me off of an injury. If somebody gets injured, they would take me. But we're not going to wait around for an opportunity. We're going to go out there and make the opportunity happen. So the fight was offered, and it's a fight that really made sense for me. On one hand, he's got more wins, got more fights. He's wanted to fight me for a long time, but he was just so new that it just didn't make sense as far as the risk factor. A new guy, say he beats me and it looks bad, say I beat him, still doesn't look great. But he's at the point now, I think he's 5-1. it makes sense. He's number 2 in the state. What else was I going to say? I kind of went on a tangent.
Well, no, I was going to say too, like just paying attention to the scene in Michigan. I mean, it seemed like you guys were going to fight eventually if you didn't get to the UFC, because you guys are, I would say, the most well-known heavyweights from Michigan.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing too is I lost on the show due to wrestling. You know what I mean? That was the one thing that was just my kryptonite. But since then, I've done everything I can to make my wrestling defense better, my wall work better. I would say that I turn my weakness into one of my strengths, and this is a great opportunity to show that.
Okay.
So an organization that's just like, oh, his wrestling's not that great. Well, now they're going to see, like, no, actually, it's good. It's real good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. How do you feel like you match up against Martin in this fight? You mentioned the 5-1 record. You only have a few more fights, but having gone through the Ultimate Fighter, I'd say you definitely have the edge in experience.
Yeah. He has a very limited, he's very limited on what he does, but he does them well. And I just think that everything that I've gone through on the show and leading up and all that is enough. It's enough to stop the wrestling. It's enough to keep it standing where I want it. And if I can keep it standing where I want it, I just don't feel right now. I think that eventually he will catch up, but right now it's not really that close on striking. So I'll take it if I can keep it standing.
Who are some of your main training partners for this camp?
Let's see. Because primarily I've been focusing on the wrestling. I've had Cody Brunage, who was, I'm not sure what he did, but he had really good wrestling pedigree. I had my buddy Jake Spittler, who is just a strong 300-pound grappler. You know what I mean? Did a lot of him pushing me against the cage, me get, him laying on me, trying to hold me down while I framed, got up. I also have been training with Ryan Pokrivki, who was Brett's last opponent, doing wall work and stuff, and getting some insight on what he felt in the fight and all of that.
That's great. Okay, well, that's good. You get a little bit of inside info heading into this matchup. Now, as a heavyweight, do you have to diet at all? Do you have to eat clean, or do you just kind of eat what you want?
So, I have been eating extremely clean.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I got a nutritionist right before the show, actually, even before the Contender Series, and we've been doing lots of different things, and kind of just like cracking the code that like is my body, what I need to eat. The things that I have sensitivities to, because there's lots of foods that you might not be allergic to, you're not getting an allergic reaction, but your body doesn't take well to. So I've done, blood work for that. I've done all this stuff to get my nutrition. I take like 32 vitamins a day. Everything right now for me is on point. And I think the main reason why I'm just so, everything is just so perfect right now, and like I'm not straying away or anything like that, is because I quit my job. I've had my whole career. I worked a full-time job, 40 hours a week. And now this is a full-time thing for me. And like my fiance, she works 2 jobs. She's working really hard for this as well. She makes a lot of sacrifices. I see those sacrifices every day. And I don't want that to be in vain. So I want it for me, but I really want it for her as well.
Excellent, man. I love hearing that. Going all in. You only got one shot at this, right? Well, it's a tough career. Let's put it that way. So it's good that you you can't have any regrets going all in. How do you see this fight unfolding on February 16th?
I think that if I don't knock him out early, it'll be a battle of wills. I think that if I can't knock him out, worst case scenario, he takes me down, he holds me down. It's a grindy thing. I just don't think that he'll have the cardio to be able to do that the entire fight, because I know he works a full-time job. I worked a full-time job. I know what that's like. Now I train 3 times a day. My whole life is literally train in the morning, eat, sleep, train again, eat, just relax, train again. You know what I mean? Like everything is just, I have just so many people in my corner right now focusing on my body. I get massages every week. I'm really focused on my cardio and my physical condition right now. So I just don't think that, it is. I can't talk. I listened to an interview where he worked 6 to 3. So I'm like, I guarantee you don't wake up at 4 a.m. to get cardio in. I know you're not getting 2 sessions in, let alone me that's getting 3. So it's not that it's anything against him, but like you just can't. You just can't have the same conditioning. Even if you train your ass off every night, it's not the same. Okay. That's how I feel.
Yeah, no, you bring up a good point there. And I heard you sort of kind of, if I hear you correctly from what you said earlier, the plan is if you come into this unscathed, win or loss or whatever, the plan is to fight for PFL unless the UFC just happens to come out of the blue in between then. Or are you looking to get another fight in between there before April?
I kind of think what's going to happen is with PFL, we might just be like, hey, to the UFC, like, PFL wants me. Are you guys interested? And then go from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's probably the smartest move there. Before I let you go, I follow you on Instagram, and I know you've commented sometimes on I play a lot of old school video games. Are you a video game guy? Because I know obviously you don't get much free time, but are you getting any downtime at all during this camp?
I have a game on my phone that I play sometimes, but I haven't had time. Honestly, it's crazy because I am a full-time fighter. I don't have a job, but I'm the busiest I've ever been in my whole life. It's crazy.
Okay, that's good though. It's all fighting related, which is great. So.
Yeah. But I played 10 years of World of Warcraft.
Okay, there you go. The truth.
That was a WoW guy. Diablo. I played Diablo. But I see a lot of the games you play, and a lot of those I played as a kid. Sonic the Hedgehog, Battletoads, all that stuff. I love that.
Yeah, no, and the reason I play the classic ones is because that's the only thing I have time for. Like, I can't invest hours into like a Red Dead Redemption or like any of the newer games because I'm a dad. I got a job and I got other commitments. So what I like about the retro games is you can just pick up and play and it's all good. So that's why they're the best. I'll always have some love for the retro gaming, and I love this fight, man. This is a great card. I think when people saw this announced, they were like, this is as good as it gets for heavyweight MMA. It's going to be coming up here February 16th. It is Lights Out Championship 2. Josh, it was great to finally interview you, man. I really appreciate you taking the time. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you have any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours.
I appreciate it. And you can find me Instagram, Parisian MMA, Facebook, Parisian MMA, and Twitter is Josh Parisian, but I don't put anything on Twitter. You could go follow me, but I don't post anything. I probably should. As far as my sponsors, Phoenix Athletics, Impact Mouthguards, Champion's Choice Nutrition, Storm Taekwondo, Motor City Truck Collision. Oh, I feel like I'm missing one. I hate that. I did this in the last interview. I knew that was one.
No worries. Well, the good thing is you plugged your social media, especially Instagram, and I'm sure you're posting stuff about your sponsors all the time. So if people wanted to go follow you, they would find all that there, right?
Yeah. And then I'll share this, and then I'll give them a shout out too. But yeah, man, I really appreciate it. It's gonna be a great fight.